Okay, so for level 1, we're just going to go single bell, but double grip, right? That increases our grip strength, and it keeps us symmetrical and stable, which is what we're used to doing. Solid platform, all 4 points of my feet driving into the ground, and I want this bell to split my feet in half here, and then I'm going to drop down. I'm going to drop my hips to my heels, staying tall, same way we do our normal squats, normal deadlifts, right? And I'm going to grab on, and then stay tall, looking at the horizon, pull up. Hips come through, back down. At no time should I feel this in my back at all. I'm just down and up. Just tap it on the ground, come back up. Tap it on the ground, come back up. Nice and comfortable. My abs are strong. My spine is tall. My shoulders are down and back. Just right here. Then level 2 is where it gets a little bit funky. We're going to go asymmetrical. So this is, obviously, we have to really stabilize our core, really stabilize our hips, and we're still going through asymmetrical through our hips, but symmetrical through our hips, but asymmetrical through the top. And so here, I'm trying to sit in it and drive up, staying nice and solid, hips square, shoulders as square as possible. Obviously, my shoulders got to come forward a little bit, but at the top, I can square it up, and then I'm going to drop it back down. Square it up, drop it back down. I do this little rotation to absorb that weight, so I'm still symmetrical hips and below, but I'm asymmetrical up top. It's the same thing. My bell is going to split my feet down and up, right? And I can do the other side, same thing, down and up, down and up. Okay, then it gets a little bit funkier because I'm doing 2 separate bells, so a little bit wider stance. It's still splitting, but I'm going to use a neutral grip. I can go here and pretend it's a bar as well, but neutral grip is going to go into our normal kettlebell movements, jerk, long cycle, snatch. So I split my feet, I'm dropping my hips to my heels, staying tall, eyes forward, tall spine, wide shoulders, all the way up, everything's square. All the way up, everything's square. Loading perfectly, ear, it should be ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle. Should be aligned, drop back down. Align everything, drop back down. Align everything, drop back down. Then the next level, so we got level 4, I'm going to put the bell out in front of me a little bit so I can get that initial swing back. I want to create connection with my hips and keep my arm in line with my spine as much as possible. So I'm going to hold the bell here. I'm going to solid core, which I learned from the level 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to swing it back. Once it's gone to its furthest point back, then I'm going to stand up and hips through. Stand up and hips through. As soon as it crosses that trip line right here in front of my belly, that's when I'm going to start bringing my hips back. So my arm is aligned as much as it can be with my spine. That keeps that shearing force from coming across our spine here and swing through. So it's all a very posterior or rear hip movement. You can build huge, strong, powerful glutes here just with a single bell with double arms. Then it gets really funky when we go asymmetrical. So now I got to use the transverse plane, a little bit of rotation to help guide this bell through the center plane of my body. And I'm keeping it in the center plane, and my hips are doing the same exact thing. My arms are straight. My load is straight down my skeleton, right? It's bone structure only, and then grip strength. And then I square my hips and square my shoulders at the top. My other arm goes with it, which helps me rotate and come back. So I have a good asymmetrical swing. That bell going down the center line of my body, nice and controlled. And I can go thumb forward, I can go thumb sideways, or I can go thumb back. None of those are wrong. It's going to be easier if we all just do thumb forward probably, because it converts well to 2 other lifts. Now we just get heavier, and we have to open up our stance, open up our hips, and probably turn out the toes a little bit. And then it's the same concept as level 4, right, where I was swinging with 1 bell in both hands, but now I'm holding 2 different bells. So bring them together, hips come through. Trying to keep my arms and spine aligned as much as possible because that force is going in the direction of where these bells are. So that force is going in line with my fingers. So if I'm putting my hips back too soon, now I have this shearing force coming across my spine, loading my lumbar in a really unsafe manner, and then I'll tend to lose it in my core because my front abs aren't strong enough, and curve my back here, and then come out late and early, and that's gonna be, it's gonna feel really inefficient and wrong, and it is really inefficient and wrong. So again, squeeze all the way back, my hips come with me. And if you could do that well, then there's a chance that in the future we can do the complex part of the clean, the complex part of the triple extension and lockout and getting under it. But that takes a day, a week, even two weeks to really get those techniques down. So for your benefit and the benefit of all of the clients, it's gonna really behoove us to stick with level 1 through 6, where we can really build that strength, build that power properly, learn that timing with the swings, and then move to the next swing and move to the next swing, or pull, 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 swing, swing, swing. And then if they get some outside coaching, or they've actually done jerks and long cycle and snatch a lot before, then they can do the jerk. So the jerk is obviously one clean to get it up, and then I'm actually putting the bells in my hips by rolling my hips forward, or having that posterior tilt, right, with my hips, my hip girdle, protecting that bell and loading. Now it's just hips and down. My back is out of the equation. There's no load on my back at all. My elbows are touching my iliac crest. My iliac crest is transferring that energy down my legs. And then from there, I do a quarter squat, good dorsiflexion, quarter squat, and then I'll drive triple extension and thoracic push to get that weight up above me, and then I do another drop squat to lock out my arms and get under it. So it's really about my legs, not as much about my upper body and arms. So here, my quarter squat, come up and under. I've got good dorsiflexion. Once I've maintained control in this under squat, only then can I come up and lock it out. And if you really want to work your abs, just bring those hips forward and curve that hip up. Oof. And you really feel it in the anterior core. And then I'm going to meet the bells to catch them. So I catch them with a little bit of under squat and a little bit of ankles. So again, quarter squat, drive up, under squat, my arms lock out, everything's locked and solid. Okay, now I can stand up. Want to work the core a little bit more? Oof, there it is. Come down. So the jerk just translates with now a swing and a clean to get the long cycle. We go a little wider, I spill the bells out, lock them out, and then swing back, swing forward, pull, and come under for my clean. So they're going up the chimney, and I'm pulling with my upper body, not so much my biceps. It's not a curl. You'll use a little bit of bicep, but you're going to pull with your upper body, and then slide in and under it, stopping in the rack position. So we'll go full speed here, swing back, pull, come under, control, lock out. This is your long cycle. Too much there. And then the snatch, you're going to get a single bell. It's going to be out in front of me. I'm going to swing it back asymmetrically, just like the swing is in there. And then when I come forward, I'm going to rotate, continue to rotate with my hip, rotate with my shoulder. That's going to accelerate the bell up. And when it comes up in front of me, I'm going to insert my hand through and let that momentum ride all the way to the top. Lock out here, let it ride to the top. So here, pull and through. 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 So you notice when I'm up in this lock position, I'm sending my hips with the bell so my hips can help catch, my body can help catch that bell as it comes down. Rotating, coming through. Rotating, coming through. My hands inserting all the way through into this cross the palm position. If it's up here, we just didn't get a deep enough insertion. Whether we're in our jerks, our long cycle, or our snatch, we want it to come all the way through and rest on the bone structure. And this is where it gets a little funky for the forearm. We have pads for that, if we need pads for that. But those are your 3 lifts. Again, if you have never done jerk, long cycle, or snatch, or you've done very few reps and you're not comfortable, we got to stick in that level 1, level 6 area. And honestly, even the lifters that have been doing it for years should start with level 1, then move to level 2 if they're confident and comfortable and doing well at that, then to level 3, then to level 4, then to level 5, then to level 6. Competence in each one creates a really solid structure. So we do mobility first, stability, strength, and then power, right, in our systems. And then we're also working stamina by our time splits or our set rep variation. We're working strength by our time splits, set rep variation, and we're working power by our time splits or set rep variation. And we have that system dialed in for this 4-week progression so that everybody gets stronger, everybody gets more powerful, everybody gets more stamina. And then with that, obviously, you look better, you feel better, you move better, everybody's happy, and nobody's sad with these huge bumps and a broken back because we stayed within our parameters to get us to where we need to go. Everybody starts at a point A, and this progression is built to get you to that point B as fast as possible.